Teachers, what was the most gut-wrenching thing you found out about a student's home life? It should have been just another same poop, different day, until the emo girl in the back of my class was refusing to take off her hoodie. So for the 1000th time I reminded her about the no heavy sleeves in the lab rule that was only in place for her safety. But when I saw her arms, I was immediately filled with regret. I told her to follow me, and we went outside in the hall to talk. When we were out there, I literally started to cry. She stopped to ask if I was okay, which is when I realized, I can't be a little bitch. Letting her see me cry is out of the question. Luckily, she ended up opening up to me about the situation right after seeing me cry. She told me that her mother was a Fetty Wap addict, who, after selling most of her daughter's clothes and bedroom furniture, ended up selling her glory hole, so she could fund the substances. I won't go too into detail, but she told us how her mother had locked them in their bedroom for 3 days without food or water, or even a diaper for her little brother, as a punishment for not stopping her little brother's crying quick enough. When I told her that was horrible, she just looked at me confused. I knew it was because this was her normal. I ended up contacting CPS after and they planned on throwing her into the foster care system. As a fellow orphan, I did what I felt was right. I asked her if she and her brother would be comfortable living with me. The first few months were definitely the hardest. She peed all over the bedroom almost every night and woke up screaming like a crazy person. Her little brother couldn't even drink a glass of water without asking if it was okay. But over time, with help from the school counselor, they learned to trust me. We were pretty much a picture-perfect family, until December came, and the girl told me she knew gifts were expensive, and therefore unnecessary. In the months leading up to this, I had received multiple calls and letters from my landlord threatening eviction. The landlord barely gave an F about my situation, and sometimes the girl would get to opening the letters before me. By this point I was 2 months deep into debt with my landlord, with only enough money for 3 weeks of rent. She told me I had until the end of the year to make it up to her, or me and the kids would be evicted. So I dedicated the entire month to working 14 hours each day, with back-to-back teaching, tutoring, door dashing and dog walking. But halfway through December, I knew I needed a backup plan. My friend told me he'd be willing to take us in, but we'd have to pay rent and live in his basement with one bed. So I kept hustling, in the hopes that my landlord was bluffing. But when I tried calling her on Christmas Eve, she texted me pay up or shut up. I nearly cried when I called my friend and told them we would be moving in by New Year's. Since that was basically set in stone, I spent some of the rent money on last-minute gifts. I figured that if I couldn't provide a stable home, the least I could do was make sure their Christmas felt like Christmas. I didn't even realize how excited they both were, until I woke up to find them already under the tree, smiling ear to ear. They both handed me an envelope, and instead of the cute Christmas card I expected, it had 3 months of rent, all in cash. I couldn't help myself after seeing that. I started crying on the spot. I couldn't believe this whole time she was selling herself. I really had failed her. But before I could say anything, she looked at me and smiled. She showed me her phone and told me she found an article online that told her how to make Wi-Fi money. She must have seen the confusion on my face, because she told me that it was hard to explain, but it was completely safe. I trusted her and they held me while I spent the next 20 minutes as a crying mess. And as I watched them open their gifts and ask each other what did you get, over and over, my life felt complete. I knew I had done my best to show them the love that they had deserved all along. Edit. I spiraled a bit, and once Christmas was over, I questioned her about where she got the money. She told me she had done some courses on a website called onlinecoursecareers.com and then got a job in the courses she was learning. She was able to find a job that paid her well and saved us from moving into someone's basement.